Well, hello, universe. It's 10:05 here on the 31st of May, which means that my Memorial Day recording has extended 22 hours generously. Oh boy, I will be playing tricks on the end of this recording. Well, I don't intend that in any scale, way, shape, form, or capacity at this moment, but you never know. But the yawning isn't even truly an indicator of my enthusiasm, commitment, or scale of material to review, because the 22-hour gap means I've overthought everything possible, as always. And the yawn is because it's raining. And the rain is awesome. We don't get this rain very often. A long, steady day of rain in Colorado is a rare day. It's a day of stormy weather. Will bring a lot of rain sometimes. Flood the city even. But the I don't even know what this pace of rain is, but Seattle saw it a lot, and Portland saw it a lot. The Northeast sees a lot. But I suppose altitude or just the pattern of the mountains doesn't permit us to get this sort of gray day of constant, gentle rain. And I learned to be okay with the weather of the Northwest when I lived there. That part took a while to adjust. But I've always thought that's one of the most mind clearing sounds you can have in your background, is that pitter-patter of water hitting nature's leaves, sidewalks, whatever. And yeah, I know nature doesn't have sidewalks. Or does it? It's it's got me almost, well, let's be honest. What did I just smoke? Something indica. Oh yeah, Granddaddy Perps. Oh, I did? Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, I had to hit the pause button and do some jumping jacks, honestly, or this is going to be nap time. So hold on. Unpause. And the selection of Granddaddy Perps, all of, I think, now 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, wasn't that long ago, was with this mental thought, oh, well, that'll stop all the obsessive note-taking and thought preparation. Well, I was right about that. I mean, I can see why GDP is a lot of people's favorite. Because it really hits the contemplative, uplifting, and mentally motivated. Euphoric's pretty good. It's the bouncy castle of weed for me. It's just the fun side of weed that you never can feel too bad about the world if somehow Granddaddy Perps makes it into your day. There's plenty of reasons to think marijuana is a benefit, but for people who struggle with the idea that they even have something of value to offer the world, that level of depression, that level of self-doubt, boy, marijuana really, really, really is there to help you. Just like I'm there to help. Well, let's not get into that other stuff. Although, we are going to get into that other stuff. All right, look, I need one more break. Stay where you are. Pause. Alright, back with the smooth, dulcet tones of nature, dropping H2O on planet Earth in the miraculous existence that it is to be a human being with all 6 senses, 5 of which are active. Whoop! Speaking of active, let's keep that activity over there. Okay. And not every time I pause am I pausing to take a bong hit. Although, that's sort of true. But it also means that I'm checking the front door, getting the cat food, lifting the toilet seat for the cat so they can take a drink. Whatever it is that might cause disruption in the next 45 minutes, I try to anticipate those minimal possibilities and counteract them before everything gets going. That means that of the 6 that could happen, I think of 3, and of course I think of 3 that don't happen, and forget the 3 that could. However it all works out karmically, I am trying. And even though Phoebe's going to snore her way through this episode, as we've, I guess, established is her modus operandi, I'd rather have her in the room with me than move around where that's not part of the background noise. So apologies therein, but my old dog and I are too much of a combination to be separated even for a recording. And I did have an introductory recording that I'm going to flip to the next one. I hate doing this kind of stuff, because when I record something, I want it sequentially in the order that I recorded it, but I never really finished up the first episode the way I should have, and that was my intention, was to finish that up. But I have a page of notes that was to be the grounding of my first episode that I never even have talked about. So, since I made up a first episode basically out of thin air, and since I left a lot of things dangling that I want to finish, I intend to do that now. There's no place for that except as the second episode, so that I can then take my page of notes as the third episode and wander through that mess. The opening that I recorded was with the intention of getting to those notes. So, in theory, just because the way things shook out today, in reassessing both the first episode and something that I discovered, which, well, what can I say? This is how dead to media I've become. But, nonetheless, it's significant enough that I can't overlook it. It has to be addressed. And then, because that has to be addressed, it supersedes everything else. And no, I'm not talking about that super filthy task I had to take care of, which I took care of. And it is, it's in the top 10 grossest things I've ever had to deal with. But, such is life. I mean, gross is such a relative term. Let's be honest. It wasn't gross. There is no such thing. But, it ain't like I want to do it every day, right? Life is better with daily patterns that don't involve that level of hot water. But, sanitizing things, I suppose, is kind of a good transition for what point I would like to have falling into this vortex of a checkpoint. Here we are in episode 2. Time to check my reset and realign the pattern of the crop circle that I forgot my 2x4, so I did it with this boombox, and, well, once I started playing music, it just turned into this. Yeah, that's pretty much what these notes look like. Okay. But there's especially one concept that I just gloss over, and I didn't mean to, even in the moment. I meant to really flesh this out. Why I left it out there, I really don't know. Because I even address in the moment that it was important. So, it's the idea that if you can make the group topic matter at hand that which you want to or wish to manipulate, well, now you're having and I call it subtle, but I didn't mean subtle, I meant a different subword, because subtle's wrong. It's subtle, but that doesn't matter. It's subversive, and that matters. You're having the subversive impact that avoids the direct confrontation that is my idea versus yours. Instead, you are manipulating groundwork to steer conversation and policy into influential positions that advantage your desired outcome over whatever other desired outcome might compete. And if that is driven by a motivation for nothing but acquired capital and dividend return profit, it has the myopic potential to overtake everything. And it is such the Mickey Mouse shouldn't have been left alone with that bucket of water that he turned into all that mess in Fantasia moment for humanity. Because, we don't mean to have the power to destroy the planet. But, yeah, we're kind of fucking, yeah, we gotta go for it. I don't know. Why are we so capable of doing that, which has the highest potential of leading to the worst outcomes? Why is it that we are snap-built, quirked, just carbonated, shaken wrong, fizzing out the can because we got dropped on the kitchen floor and now, we're spinning around, just running amok. But it's not our fault. I mean, when I was all packed up and sent into this place, I was tight as a bun with 11 of my friends inside of a cardboard little container that made me feel all comfy. And then you tried to carry in 16 bags of groceries while balancing me with your pinky. And oh, look what happened. The 12-pack broke open. And oh, look what happened. 3 of them are compromised. We have a situation in the kitchen. Phoebe already knows about the situation in the kitchen. Phoebe, get out of here. Get out of here. Kitty, what are you doing? Leave that can alone. All right, Kitty, have fun. Well, those moments, I don't know if you want to be the can or the guy dropping the can. Does it matter? Both idiots are playing a role that works out to be the sort of cartoonish endgame that, well, splattered on the pavement like a coyote with a rocket on its back is about the best you can ask for, right? I mean, what if that is just built into the system? All right, let's not get distracted, because that's not even really what I mean when I say making the group topic matter at hand that which you wish to maneuver around. You see, this sounds like such horseshit until you realize how seriously entrenched it is. And And I never am here to tell you how to think, what to figure out, or where you should be wandering through your dumb shit so you can get to your smart shit so you can stop being a dumb shit. No, I'm a dumb shit. Okay? But it's not that I can't figure things out. I'm just well aware of how stupidly tripped up and susceptible to being petted into obedient behavior I am. So, like a dog who knows a few tricks, I may think they're all impressed by me, but no, they're impressed by my ability to do what I'm told. So, if you don't understand that you are not fulfilling a person's inner growth and emergence into a society of receptive engagement of your real self, as is possible if that which we have been instead trained to believe is the composite organization of a civilized society, like the structured work week, like the expectations regarding financial transactions, energy, food, all of it. How we're established is accepted by almost everybody as just the system that is the most advanced and advantageous for the good of the individual and the group simultaneously across as much potential as possible that has so far been conceived. So I'm just so glad to not have been born 600 years ago when I'd have been lucky not to have been hiding the bloody pussy bulbous sores that keep exploding on my behind. So yay, 21st century existence, cell phones, sweet, houses, sweeter, food delivered, right? You realize that those alone are the kinds of things that as little as 200 years ago were just not as readily available. So, fuck it, man. I take a bus to a place that's 3.5 hours away that the guy yells at me to do the same thing every day, and I do it every day the same way, and yet I still get yelled at. Then I take that bus home, and I have pork, if it's on sale. Otherwise, I have what we call spork. Well, it's spam, but whatever. And life's great. Yeah, I love life. Love life. Been watching reruns of that everybody loves what is it? Everyone loves Roundup? No, everyone loves Monsanto? I don't know. It's a good show though. And I've been thinking differently since I've been watching it and eating a lot more of that cardboard watermelon. Yummy, yummy. Well, that may sound silly, but you can only appreciate that you think what you are allowed to think because of the circumstance in which you're allowed to have thought. How rotund and merry not-go-round does that feel to every silly, thinking, appreciative person that wants to throw tomatoes at me? I get it. But just don't avoid the question marks that this reality is starting to leak through. It is coming to bear that the charade must end. Fiat currencies do not last. They are built for people to leverage. When people have leverage, they leverage it. Once it's been leveraged financially across a system, it builds financial weakness. That is what the panics have all been about. And now that all of the currency is flying out of control, not because of stimulus, no, because of the money injected into the system, like the, $3 trillion lost by the Defense Department in one accounting audit. I'm not even sure that's enough. Maybe it was 13 trillion. Who gives a shit? It's made up. It's bullshit. It's what powerful people do to trick those without power into thinking those with power are maintaining the power in a very powerful way. When you can control the group topic matter and manipulate that which you want to have subversive impact across, well, avoiding direct confrontation is built into the model. While the concept here is what we like to call plausible deniability. Yes, we know, that's why we say that officially pulls our bullshit card when we say no more plausible deniability, you pieces of shit. Stop it. No more subversive activity. Come at me with solutions, come at me with answers, come at me with attempts at an idea toward a better future, and let's discuss. And then let's convene on the best of the ideas and move forward. And until we have exhausted the ideas, the solutions, the problems, the questions, all of it, that is the basis of where we're going. So, immediately have room to improve. I can't decide if it would be better to think of every episode, maybe every episode should start with the concept, I immediately have room to improve, and should end with the concept, there is value beyond belief in the human experience. I didn't give either one of those very much room to breathe. There is value beyond belief in the human experience. If you can free yourself from the entrapment of what you're convinced you should be worried about, and then understand the influence you can have over what is not even being addressed and still frenetic enough that it needs you to worry about it, well, you have a whole new existence. One that matters in ways that all the peripheral noise start to feel just like that noise. Now that needs to be addressed too. But it is the substance of the insects in the netting, not the storm that is brewing across the structure. There are ways that the inevitable are both finding their final footing and succumbing to the collision that has been known and prepared for in almost every scale. So, entering that phase, those who have been plugging along, doing what they've been told, and taking the setbacks and redirects in good faith, well, there's some experience to be had that will weather your storm a little bit to a lot. And who cares? That's what resetting the system for the better is about. As you experience this, frame it in a position of what this is an opportunity from within you to emerge as a bigger version, more out and confident in your real self, because those opportunities will be abounding. And that means things like censorship need to die. But it's already on the list of shit we got to get rid of. So when we get to that point, shortly, in some episodes futurely installed in this ramble on, yeah, that's coming. Granddaddy Perps, I'm telling you, Granddaddy Perps. What is being agenda driven? I think that's worthy of a bigger dive. But being agenda driven is the knee-jerk reaction of the defensive now. Well, if you're going to just listen to people with agendas, then where are we going to end up with? On syllabuses? Syllabi? Is it syllabi? Is it syllabuses? I never took Latin. So, listen for people's reactions to legitimate questions. And if they deflect, or they draw up cliche responses like, well, every time that guy's been asked a question, he's clearly operating on an agenda. All right, now answer the fucking question. It's not okay, and it's not a savvy 21st century woke to the media's bullshit type of presence. No. It is straight up deflection. And it is intolerable. And it has become the new norm. It's everywhere. So intolerable is clearly a word much like inconceivable. I am not so certain you know what that word means. Can one, should one, or is it a never? Go back to the original inspiration. I never even really finished this thought. But the original inspiration of me trying to communicate to myself has been a part of my life's struggle since high school. I don't know when I started feeling so disconnected from everything. Not like there was anyone on this planet like me. Super sensitive. Shy of conflict. Definitely not about violence. Up to scheming. Not sure that I even understood property value to this day, or ownership. No thought or concept of monogamy, apparently. Just and other stuff that's not important, just like everybody. And just like everybody, you feel isolated. You feel unicorny in a world full of Mustangs. And while you know you've got some sort of special, magical, unique, unicorny thing going on, the world doesn't see it. The world wonders what the fuck that horn on your head is for, and keeps offering to saw it off. And you keep thinking, well, it seems like that's the only thing about me that I even like, is that I'm the only one with this awesome fucking horn on my head. And yeah, all you Mustangs are pretty fucking sweet too, but I've got this awesome horn on my head. Well, I don't I don't have an answer for why it is that when we look out there, everything seems like the savannah full of lions, other graceful animals, and other graceful animals. And we're at best a hyena with poop on our butt. And everyone's a hyena with poop on their butt, you know. And everyone is a goddamn gazelle simultaneously. Because the world is ready to see your gazelle. And you're the only one afraid that what you're showing is a hyena with poop on your butt. And guess what? If that's what you're afraid you're showing, it's what you limit yourself to being the capacity that you can show. So even if you keep having these gazelle-like starts, sooner or later, that level of vibration that you are tuned into, well, it will overtake a scenario in which the vibration is going to be welcomed. And oh my God, here we are again. I'm doing that thing, and I thought I was past this, and well, no. It was just the universe kept giving you an opportunity to not welcome that to it. But if you're going to insist on things happening this way because you just think that's the way you are, well, the universe gives it back. So when I think about how you could manipulate us little humans with our ability to vibrate to our own advantage, why would you want to vibrate us to a disadvantage? I mean, really. Think about this. War. How many 5-year-olds have ever conceived of war? Now, King of the Hill? A lot of them have. Mine, yours, ownership? Yeah. Those things come up. Now, arguments already abounding. Well, if war is the inevitable outcome of things like ownership and what's mine and what's yours and bang, bang, bang. Okay, there is some of that, I agree. But war as a constant? See, that to me feels manufactured. Because I just don't see it in us. But do I see us capable of being convinced of it? Oh, you bet your Stegosaurus I do. So I do think if you want to manipulate mankind, and all right, women, you're in on this too. If humankind is the target of your mental playfulness, well, boy, do I have a feeling we are the finger paint canvas of all time. Draw it up, buddy, because whatever you say, you got me. So long as you're telling me, wow, I'm totally okay, because everything about being here makes me feel like I fucking don't belong here. So you find that little bit of what they can glom onto as your corner of the world that makes sense. Whether it be an accountant in a world of numbers, or a cleaning lady who finds the calling of the church all she needs to get through a week of subservient labor to another household's advantage. I mean, I sometimes wonder, like, who is it that has been told wherever along the line that their value at best is to serve someone else? I'm not saying that that's without honor or a circumstance of shame. I'm wondering, though, if that statement, as focused as it may have seemed on somebody crossing from down south to work for Joan Jett and her fancy jukebox out in L.A. Well, no. No, actually, I think that's who we all are. All right, I was a little, fuck, I was straight up. I've started noting ways that I am talking, and I'm telling the truth, but I'm not telling the truth. For instance, I speak of, there are times when, if you can't be as steadfast in the moment or as chivalrous in the occasions or as up to the challenge as you hope to be, well, fuck, man. Okay. Yeah, that is all of us, almost all the time. But no, what about if you can't keep your self out of your roommate's bedroom? I mean, the activities that I was willing to lie about were in no means because I wasn't quite mounting the top of the goal of being an Olympic champion. No. They were things like, yeah, I might have taken your $50 bill from your wallet, but no, I'm not going to tell you that I did that. I'm going to tell you that I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not in any way a noble, historically, facing too much headwind, sort of down on my luck warrior. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Nope. I am capable of doing anything in my past. Now, I see my folly. I do believe I have come correct, but the wake of garbage and schadenfreude from which I emerge is legit. And so I'm not one to be so offhandedly dismissive of just how much black tar I was willing to put down in front of you as you walked barefoot on a 105-degree day. Because why not? Who knows what I was up to? You never know the sort of shenanigan I could have fallen into. So I don't want to be less than forthcoming about the intentions as they were there. Many of them were to cover up the stupid, self-indulgent cowardice motivations in my life that led to things like dishonorable behavior in love and in gambling and in work. I mean, you name it. I've been capable of being a douchebag about pretty much anything. But that's only to make sure that we're being honest about what we are really out there combating. And it's not necessarily the flying monkeys coming out of the castle. No. No, 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 no. No. Sometimes it was the lowest side of the spectrum you can imagine. But I still didn't kill that fly. I didn't go that low. I do respect life. But I wanted to. I also wanted to somehow come up with 1,440 minutes, and I came up with 1,340. I'm not even sure how I came up with 1,340. Like, I know what 1,440 minutes are. It's just, I don't know, it's somewhere in something, like a video game or something. I mean, that number is up there with, I don't know, it's not up there with 365 days, but it's up there with nothing else. But 1440 is a number I was surprised to hear myself say 1340. Even as I said it, I knew I was wrong, but I wasn't capable of correcting myself at the time because I wasn't sure why I was wrong. But weird. It's weird. Weird how you do that. Like, and it's not even that I did the math in my head. I know I didn't because I spoke it too quick. So I wasn't expecting to be there. So I just was spitting out what I thought was the right number. And I was 100 off. Like I was 100 off. Maybe I was thinking 1360 and I knew that was wrong. So I said 1340. I don't know. And I don't mean to think about that. But one of the things about recording stuff is that. That's something that, honestly, there are enough of those that if I just was to create my top 10 of those, I could sit on a desert island for a year trying to proof out motivation and cause and effect there. It's fascinating to me sometimes how the mind can just tweak. All right, when you have the oh shit moment of how much Schadenfreude is inherent in the system and how much, unfortunately, incrementally has been stacked into the system by people who have no intention other than to see the system's leverage points that aren't being leveraged in their favor in a way that is inherently without ill intent from the beginning, and all of that incremental wind blowing turns into the sort of monstrous entities that now are really out of control. Because those who are most at the helm know how little direction they truly are capable of maintaining while pretending to be at that helm, because the helm doesn't exist. The helm is nothing more than having all of the information so that that which is the most precarious is at least being addressed with some immediate strategic reaction that, while other things are assessed and directly offset as well, there are casual and causal outcomes of that which isn't being addressed that is just building up. And it's built up so much now that it's over. And as everything comes apart at some future date, and I'm not saying this is happening next week, but it's happening either in the end of this decade or in the 50s. Again, I'm not sure which. Doesn't matter which. Just live a better life. But don't see the calamity. See the transition, because it is a transition, and the calamity is a reset. So participate in that as little as possible and move forward with the opportunity to show the universe what an emergent humanity looks like, not one tangled in a downward spiral of webbing that just got out of control and is now constricted so much of the system that as it lets go, a lot of vibrational hum is going to feel uniquely off. Okay, be ready for that. You're here for the opportunity to emerge through that. So if that's not something that stirs the spirit of your soul, well then, go watch Jerry Springer. All right, and I don't mean to denigrate, but don't watch Jerry Springer. I used a timer in that episode. Boom. You know what? That helps me. I do set timers now, especially if I'm about to do something that I can get a little lost in thought about, like recording something. If I need to be somewhere, I have to set a timer to let myself know when that timer goes off, in 3 minutes, if you're not in the shower, buddy, you'll be late. And that's bad. It shouldn't be 3 minutes. It should be 6. Because I always want 5, so I take 6. So saying 3 is dumb. I can't do 3. Don't do 3. And 6, I'll bet, is almost exactly how much time I talked after that timer, if I went and listened. Okay, am I almost done here? So, I did have one moment where I swapped a word. I said harsh instead of hard, because I realized what I was walking into. But you're welcome that I stayed off that that stiffer drink. So is this the real me? Alright, so the big reveal are 2. I woke up in a glorious mood yesterday, and I did it again today, because I'm dreaming again. And I mean, I am dreaming again. So intensely did I dream last night. And I only slept for 3.5 hours. I was up too late, and I had to be at work at 6, and yada yada. So I wasn't asleep that long, but it's like I'd been asleep for 40 days when I finally woke up. And it was the sort of just mad rush of zip lines and parachuting and river raft riding, and it was as if I had been pushing all of my most fun dreams for the last 7 weeks into a box, and I opened it last night. And the night before the Sunday, I had the dream about all the map orienteering. That was the intense 35 hours sleep. Then I had another night of dreaming about just one of the psychedelic nights of dreams. Lots of color and music and feeling and emotion. And then I had this dream of just so much experience this night, this last round. So that's a lot of dreaming. That's more dreaming than I've done in 2 months. And it has been, I'm springing out of bed because I'm back in touch with my dreams. And it's like I want to throw I guess I'm not a clone party. Because for a while there I was starting to wonder have I been cloned? Why am I not dreaming? Well, I am. Again. So, maybe it was that module about work. Did I somehow trick myself into having to shut off my dream state because I was going to talk about work? Is that the true dream state? Probably. Well, I can't claim a dream state when it comes to the Texas shooting. I had seen a headline or two. I knew there had been a shooting, but I avoided opening the article for 2 reasons. One, it's irrelevant. It's always the same story, so it doesn't matter anymore. The story won't stop if we don't take different action. And this is the first time I've been deadened to whatever tragedy is worth knowing. I've never not known about something of this scale for a week. And I know that peripherally a comment now makes sense that didn't make sense at the time about a school shooting. And and it's awful, obviously. It's not fair that the media has used its trusted positioning of known and agreed upon influence the nobility of that pursuit, tarnished as it is, well, it's left me in a position to go 7 days without actually clicking into the story that is Uvalde, Texas shooting, multiple wounded, many dead. Oh, they're kids? Oh my God. And then you hear how they handled it. Well, our systems are broken. How much evidence do we need? This isn't how civilized, organized human beings interact on any of it. It is all the reaction of those who are here listening to messages that twist and torque that which inside them is the real person, soul, transient, timeless being that they exist as. Can that turn them all the way into somebody who locks a door and tells kids to prepare to die? Yeah, it seems to do that a little too often. Now, can we finally think about the systemic level of operation that is enabling all this behavior, including those at the very top who are so far entrenched in the system's advantages that they don't know how to stop the runaway train that they've enabled? We can change anything we put our minds to. We are humanity. It's time we started acting like it. I mean it. If we aren't willing to say that we have the confidence to believe that we are capable of ascending into the glorious possibility of our civilization fully realized, what a waste. What a waste.